Alright. Apologize if anything might have occurred. There was had to be a minor video edit as my phone received max memory, I guess. Um, I forgot about the fact that my phone is very low on memory, and I have quite a bit that I had to save today on my phone. So my video memory was nearly max, or my camera's memory, or my phone's memory was nearly maxed out all the way, and yeah, I was only able to record so much, so I wasn't able to continue on. But anyhow, just to go on back on the topic, I have a huge problem with the undermining of mental work versus physical work. One big problem that I seem to be struggling with is the ability to get or keep a job. Shadow? No. Sorry about that. Love my dog, but she was trying to get into something she shouldn't be. Thank you. Well, back to what I'm saying. When it comes down to being undermined that I have such an issue with, I'm going to lay it out flat for you. That way you guys can know completely exactly what's going on with me and the reason why I struggle, but also to see my lack of holding back. I am going to be 25 years old very soon, and I am a disabled veteran with only 4 short years in the service, not to include the extended months that I had to go through med board. But I am a disabled veteran. I do have a few bigger issues that could get a lot worse very shortly. But I don't want that to hold me back from doing something like get a job or go to school or trying to live my life, knowing fully well that there are certain things that hold me back. I'm just trying. Well, one of the issues that I've come up with recently was I usually walk around with a cane because it hurts to stand and it hurts to walk, but that's all part of the disability that I have to live with. I have to live with that. But one thing I feel is unnecessary that I have to live with, but it's kind of just taking my licks, if you will, is the fact that whenever I go into a job interview or a job place in general, to attain a job, I get meted and greeted with the same thing every time, and I've noticed it's become kind of a stereotype, actually. I walk in, I don't have anything fancy dress, I'm not trying to show off, I'm just trying to show them that I'm here to work. Whatever the job may be, I try to show up for that, but I don't dress up, if you will. It's not something special that I do. I'm showing you that I'm just trying to do the right thing and get a job, make a living. Well, when I walk in, I also notice, okay, he's young, he's okay to work with, he's probably got just a little bit of experience. Oh, wait a minute, he's got a cane, and he's kind of got a limp. Ooh, I don't want... It's almost as if what I'm seeing in these people is the same thing over and over. They care more about my ability to be physically laborious, but not mentally laborious. I've actually walked in for a job interview that was relating to a flagger position. Yes, as simple as a flagger. All they do is hold a sign that has 2 sides to it, stand there and flip it around back and forth, all the while hoping that a car doesn't run me over. Yeah, that's literally as simple as it is. I'm not trying to undermine what the flagging position upholds, because it actually is a very dedicated job, a very good job for a lot of people who wouldn't believe that. It's actually very physically laborious, especially for someone in my condition who has to use a cane to get around, because it makes it a lot easier. Well, because of this, I asked about if there were any, they asked me too, actually. Through the interview, I was asked whether or not I could do the flagging position. I said I would do my best, and they were very appreciative of me being able to bring that up. But not only that, I asked if there were any other positions, just on the in case that it becomes overwhelming, would I be able to apply for and qualify for? And basically, they said they'd keep their minds open, but I'm noticing that when certain positions open, they always say they've been filled right away. Like, apparently it's possible for the fact that someone that just told me that it just opened up, another person told me that they just closed it. It is that something just doesn't seem right there. I mean, yeah, that could be true. They could have just literally just got off the phone with the person they were designed to hire. I just noticed that when it came down to me, it was always the same thing, not with just that job, but with a couple other different jobs I've had. I've literally been told that I've literally been told by a hiring manager they don't think that I'm ready to come back into society yet. Their words, their exact words. And it feels very uncomfortable to me that someone actually, I can't really say discriminated, but doesn't have the same belief I have in myself. Now, don't get me wrong, I am not holding back. I'm still going out to get jobs. Right now, I'm in school. I'm using my GI Bill to try and get a college degree to actually be able to do something with my life. I mean, I can do basically as I desire. Depending on what my interests are, I can achieve mostly anything now, right at this point. I want to achieve it mostly anything. That's the drive. That's the goal. I want to do something. I don't want to just sit on my butt. And that's the very common misconception when it comes down to disabled veterans, is that we're just so disabled that we can't do shit. No. I can do shit. I just have to do it at my own pace. Or I am not as fully equipped as I used to be. And yes, I know, I'm only 25. Come on. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't matter if you're 16 and you're just barely able to get a job out while you're in high school, or if you're nearly retiring and you've been working this entire damn time, but all of a sudden you got laid off and now you have to go back for more work just to be able to finish off your retirement. It doesn't make a dang on difference. I mean, seriously. A job is a job is a job. Age shouldn't be a factor as for your physical capabilities. I mean, obviously, I have seen people with some serious disabilities be able to get great jobs and last. I have seen people who had no disabilities and couldn't last at a single dang thing. I feel bad for them, but at the same time, at least if they've got something going for them, I'm giving them props for trying. That's all I can give them. But what I've noticed, and this is just not just discriminatory to myself or putting myself in the highlight. I'm talking about every veteran out there who has a disability. Hell, anybody who has a disability in general. Don't look at us as people who are disabled and can't do shit. Look at us as just another person. Heck, if you really want to imagine us in a different situation if it helps. Oh, you're just hiring a 16-year-old kid with no ability, no knowledge. He's going to be a little bit slow. Okay, that makes sense that I might be able to treat this person the same, but probably with a little bit more mental aptitude. No offense if you're a really smart 16-year-old. I have no problem with that. I'm not undermining that whatsoever. I'm talking about imagining someone in a different situation if it really has to help you to be able to hire a dang on person who has a disability. Or for that matter, the mental portion of it. There's a huge thing that I've noticed these days. If you're a lot of the older generations really heavily push the idea of, they really push the idea of having a trade school, basically a physical job. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that's wrong. I am not saying whatsoever that's wrong. In fact, I greatly appreciate it because if without most of those jobs, a lot of shit wouldn't happen. Construction, welding, plumbing, electricity. Holy crap, now computer science is becoming a big thing, so coding, software engineering, network security. Those are all becoming almost trade, or those last two are definitely becoming trade schools, but those other ones, welding, construction, etc., have all been trade schools for decades, basically generations. Because construction's been around since, well, basically as long as I can remember. Time has been around for however long. People have been constructing things for however long. I mean, they've literally been taking bushes apart and putting together their own little fort for protection against the elements. Well, guess what? We make houses nowadays too, just in a slightly different fashion. Cutting wood and nailing and or gluing it together. Seriously, it's the same concept. It's been around, so yes, having trade schools are a great option. But I'm also noticing that there is one thing that they didn't properly promote when I was going through high school, junior high school, the whole shebang, where they were starting to really promote when you grow up, you're going to need to go to college. Well, they didn't really promote trade schools, so everyone thinks that they have to get a 2 or 4 year, 6 year, 8 year degree just to be able to try to make do to get a low end job. That's the whole point of these types of ideal paths. There's no correct path, but you can try to experiment with the path, and if you find something that you like and you want to pursue, go for it. Push for it. Strive for it. If you want to go for a trade school, awesome. You can work a year, or you can go through school for a year, however long your trade school is, and jump right into it more than likely, or become your own independent contractor, whatever works. It is great that you do that. But if you want to go for a 2-year degree or a 4-year degree, 6, 8, 10, how many ever years is the highest degree available? I think it's PhD. Yeah, it's supposed to be associate's, bachelor's, master's, and then PhD, but I don't know if anything else. The whole point is for jobs like those, you should be striving for those long nights. Those times where you're going to have to get a degree or have to work on your degree really hard. You're going to have to, as it's called, do the grind. You're going to have to deal with the grind. You're going to be dealing with heavy nights of nothing but laborious homework. You're going to be doing, if you want to start up a business, for instance, you're going to have to deal with that grind of really making sure your company gets off the ground, putting in the overtime at first. Yeah, when your company's sweeping in a lot of money, congratulations, you got it good. If you're still in college and you're trying to grind to get that bachelor's degree, yes, loans are worth it if you utilize them properly. I'm not saying I'm not saying that all loans are bad, but be smart about it. Educate yourself. That's the whole point. Education is a beautiful thing. That is actually my biggest goal. That's actually what has been getting me through one of my biggest disabilities, PTSD. It is no joke. This is what is tethering me to this earth, is to continuously strive for education. Not specifically, I'm saying I'm going to sit in a classroom going like, "Yes, Mr. Jones, I'd like to find out if I know the answer." No, I don't know what that came from, but still, the whole point is that is what's keeping me going, and education should be a good thing. It should be a big goal. That's literally the leading problem of Alzheimer's and dementia, is the lack of learning, the lack of getting taught, the lack of doing something new to try and be able to expand your mind. So continuously expand your mind. Always go to expand your mind. We should strive to be smarter every day. Learning one thing a day is more helpful than doing nothing. No joke. I can't emphasize this enough. Education is important. And no, it doesn't matter whether or not you have homeschooling or if you go to a 4-year college or a big college or any place in general. The place does not matter. Learning is what matters. Yes, get on YouTube. You can do that. Heck, they actually have apps out there nowadays which are actually surprisingly working. I know because I did them, and it's working fantastically. I've learned a bit more how to cook through a dang on few videos through one of these websites. Like, let's see here, we have Udacity. Let's see here. I went through one called EDX, which is actually a combination of MIT, yeah, really big one, and Harvard. Two great colleges, the biggest ones we know in the continental US, and they've combined to make a single application and website where you can learn such an amazing amount of crap. It is so amazing. I have learned so much through them. But the only reason why it's free is because of the fact that it's knowledge. Yeah, if you want to get paid for, which you can, it's like a vlog. You're not gonna expect to be paid at first. If people want to see more of it, they're probably gonna be paying you. Well, these people have set it up specifically. It's like $99 a certificate, so you can go through your own self